Everybody's gunning for the reigning champs, but I just don't think it's going to matter. Welcome in or welcome back. After one of the most dominant displays of basketball that we've seen in quite some time, the Thunder have decided to stand firm on what they're building, and for very good reason. With the team being this good, this young, not to mention the plethora of draft picks that they have in wait, this team is going to be very good for a very long time. Speaking of draft picks, the Thunder did have a couple. At 15, they picked up Thomas Sorber, and at number 44, they picked up Brooks Barnhizer. And you know the phrase, the rich get richer? Well, I think that's a pretty good example here. Sam Presti continues to prove that he is one of the best negotiators in all of sports, or at the very least, the luckiest man alive. It should be noted that Thomas tore his ACL on September 4th, so we're not going to see him this year. But I think for the next season, we're all in for a treat. Because his 1 year at Georgetown, he averaged 14, 8, and 3.5 stocks a game. And his assist numbers won't show it, but he also has incredible game feel. Honestly, he plays a lot like Isaiah Hartenstein, and he's a way better shot blocker. Every player does have his weakness, though, and Thomas's is his three-point shooting ability, shooting 16% last year. I'm not sure that he'll ever become a league average shooter. And even if he doesn't, I think that he's going to be a very solid role player for the Oklahoma City Thunder as long as they want to keep him around. OKC has made a living out of being able to draft guys that can contribute right away. And I think they may have another one in Brooks Barnhizer. He was a 4-year guy at Northwestern, and he made his mark by being able to put the ball in the hoop and being a really solid defender. Now, I don't think that he'll be asked to score 17 points a game like he was last year at Northwestern, but if you simplified his role to that of a Alex Caruso, I think that you could have a really impactful role player on your team. And even if he isn't, even if he never becomes an impactful role player and I'm wrong, Sam Presti has 200 draft picks that could right that wrong. The Thunder do have re-signings, and they brought back everybody. SGA, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, and the other Jalen Williams. OKC is keeping the band together because every single high-impact role player on this team is coming back. And while I think that is pretty normal for championship squads, it is a little different for this team because they have been known as the Oklahoma City Fetuses. As I've said before, this team is just so young. SGA is considered one of the old heads on this team, and he's just now entering his prime. So to have this MVP caliber player locked up in a contract through the rest of his prime is so valuable. And locking up his running mates is really valuable too. Chet Holmgren did not have the best offensive series I've ever seen in the finals, but his defensive impact cannot be underestimated. I'd have to imagine that if he has a semi-regularly healthy season playing 65, 70 games this year, he is a lock for the all-defensive team and potentially a Defensive Player of the Year award. And Jalen Williams is both in the camp of fantastic offensive player and fantastic defensive player. I used to think that the Paul George comparisons were a little bit out of pocket, but now that I've seen this finals run, I'm a believer. He's liable to go off for 40 each and every night, and he's going to lock up your best player. This trio of players is about to run the league for 5 years, and the rest of the league should be worried about that. I did want to mention Jay Will for a second because he's never going to get the shine that maybe he deserves. When you're on a team as talented as this one, it's really hard to show your individual brilliance. But time and time again, he has proven how valuable of a role player he can be. He'll probably never be an all-star, and he'll never come close to an all-NBA team. But you need glue guys on your team that are valuable role players, and the front office rewarded him with a contract for it. The Thunder didn't have any additions, and honestly, when you're on top of the world, there's no sense in messing with the formula. I know that it's pretty lofty to say, as of late, that any team can become repeat champions, but if anybody is going to do it, it's going to be the Oklahoma City Thunder. And until they're proven to not be the best team in the world, I wouldn't expect any major roster changes. The Thunder did have one departure in Dylan Jones. He didn't play a lot, so there's not a whole lot to talk about, but on the plus side for him, at least he got a ring out of it. I'm interested to see if he can carve out a role for himself on that Wizards team, but even if he never does that, if he flames out in this league, he will always be able to hold on to the fact that he is a champion. After a masterful regular season and postseason comes a masterful offseason for the Thunder. The old regime didn't want to have an expensive roster. We saw that with how they treated the trio of KD, Russ, and Harden. This regime, though, this front office, does seem a little more willing to dip into their pockets in the name of championship banners. And not that any championship means less, but I do sort of think that it means more when it goes to a smaller market. I don't want to pick on anybody else's team, so I'll do it to my own. When the Celtics won in 2024, it was very cool, undeniably. There is this feeling, though, especially in the Northeast, that championships are the status quo. Boston specifically has 40 championships when you are considering the big four in sports, and with a team like Oklahoma, they've never had one before. And cities like Chicago, New York, and LA are all in the same boat. When you have so much success, a championship is almost expected. But for a smaller market, I think it's cherished more. The front office seems to know how special of a moment this is, and they want to have that moment again and again and again. The Thunder do have their work cut out for them. The West got a lot better this year with teams like Houston and Denver right on their tail. I do still think that they'll come out on top, but they will have more battle scars this year than they did last year. Because of the success that they had last year and because they brought everybody back, this team has their eyes set on a repeat. And I think that this is one of the best equipped teams to do that in recent history. Do you think anybody can stop the Oklahoma City Thunder? Let me know down in the comments below. Happy opening night, by the way, by the time that I'm posting this video. Today is the first day of the NBA season. If you watched any of these videos, any of these season previews, I really appreciate it. I also wanted to say thank you to all of the guests that I had on these particular videos in this series this year. I'm going to leave links to their YouTube channels in the description below. Please go give them a look. While you're down there, check my link tree. I've got a bunch of socials that you could follow me on. Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok. I'm everywhere. And I even have a Discord community that I would love for you to be a part of. Again, I appreciate you checking out all these videos. If you watched all 30 of them, you're a real one. Be kind. Tell somebody you love them. And I'll see you in the next one.
Barely scraping by. Trying to stop puffing. I'm trying to be one of the greats.